Excuse me.
Are we boring you, Gene?
I'm just kind of a little bored.
Hello, happy Friday, and welcome to Unrelenting number 58, January 27, 2023. I am Darren O'Neill. He is Sir Gene Neftuliev of the Montreal Neftulievs. And
Montreal?
What do you, right. I mean, we're moving you from Minneapolis to Montreal.
I guess.
We're sending you over a border. It was the safest border we could think of. What is going on this morning? We hear there is breaking news.
In what?
In whatever you were doing. Where you were forgetting that you had a show
breaking
going
news.
on.
It's like the fourth or fifth day of it, but it's the whole Eliza Blue.
Who is Eliza Blue?
The slow motion deconstruction happening. So Eliza Blue, up until a week ago, was making the rounds on a lot of the YouTube talk shows as a trafficking advocate. She claims the responsibility for getting trafficking off of YouTube. She's a friend of Elon Musk's, apparently. And she's this, like, how do I describe her? She's a 40-year-old chick that has an Annie Lennox haircut.
And not a good haircut.
With blue dyed hair.
Okay, not attractive at all then.
No. But you know, her whole story is sort of not clear, but she claims that she was trafficked when she was younger and that she's been working and advocating for people involved in sex trafficking for, I don't know, 10 years, whatever. But I definitely got a weird vibe from her. Like something's not quite right there. And it's very typical for a lot of these folks to not want to talk about any details. Like, I was trafficked. I can't really talk about it.
Right, because this is how when the details come out, that's when you get caught telling a yarn.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the way it is. Because people, and even if they think they're really good liars, it's hard to remember the stories you've told.
Yeah, exactly. And
she has a very USA Soccer vibe, says NetNet. So like a Megan Rapinoe kind of thing.
I don't know.
The short hair doesn't work. I mean, really, and it doesn't work on most women.
Well, look it up. Just type in Eliza Blue. No. She's very popular in the internets right now, so you'll get photos right away.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, so there's a guy on Twitter that
there's a guy
did a whole series. Yeah, that did a whole series of posts, kind of disproving her past, if it were. And finding all kinds of images and videos and whatnot on the internet about her, basically showing that she was an opportunist cam girl and was kind of a stalker for a couple of bands.
Ooh, nice.
And all kinds of other things. I mean, none of this has any real importance at all. It's just, it's internet drama. But what happened is that it seemed like several people that I watched ended up getting banned off Twitter by talking about her.
For calling her out on the crap? Well, this is what goes on in the world now, is that if you tell the truth, y'all going to get banned.
Yeah, you will get banned. And Brittany Venti, who I've posted on No Agenda Social a few times, who is a really interesting, fun troll. She's done some really fun trolly stuff. She was the first one that of the bigger YouTubers that picked up on this from Twitter, and then posted a link or a photo, I guess, from a video this chick was in, and then got banned. And then Jeremy from The Quartering, who everybody I think probably knows, he ended up sort of in support of Brittany, saying, why did Brittany get banned for this? And then he got banned off Twitter. And of course, now there's this whole conspiracy theory about how she's fucking Elon Musk right now. And that's why, like, anybody that doesn't like her just gets an automatic ban from Twitter. There's all kinds of drama stuff happening. Well, the original guy that sprang this story that kind of put the Twitter thread together is somebody I know. So I actually had him on Sir Gene Speaks yesterday.
Oh, and so you're going to get canceled now from everything.
And is there anything I'm on?
I don't know. Let me hit disconnect now. We'll just take you right off of this show.
Yeah,
you can be live deplatformed right here,
so
right now.
That episode's already up. I posted it already. So if you want to hear the latest Sir Gene Speaks,
I don't.
Interviewing DeFango.
I don't.
Yeah,
it's
nice
internet.
If my co-hosts
garbage.
were at least a little supportive, but
I think I suggest everybody else go listen.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I'm not going to listen to your shit.
I know. I want to break some news here. People on the internet lie.
That's not a proven fact.
Why is that still a surprise to people?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Well, she's not on the. I mean, it's one thing to just post shit and lie, right? But it's another thing to go on multiple shows.
Oh yeah,
including Timcast, including.
Hey, well, if you can climb
a lot
that
of major
ladder,
shows.
That's it. If you climb the ladder, you get the audience. But we've had how many stories of? I mean, it seems like there have been a bunch of white people who were claiming to be black over the last few years. One that Rachel Dozel, right, was running something with like the NC or NAACP or something.
NAACP chapter out in Washington State. Yep.
Claiming to be something that they're not. And it's
that was 15 years ago, but yeah.
But people have claimed, I mean, this goes even further back when I was working.
Pocahontas.
There's the Pocahontas, but it goes down the line to, there was internet drama 20 years, whatever it was ago when I was running the fan club for the country artist, and somebody on the message board claimed that they had cancer and then that they had died.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching the IP address that was like, oh, this was our friend. And I'm like, I put it together that it was the same person. It's like people are sick, man. They go out there and they want to play the part. They want either sympathy and attention, which is, I think, probably sounds a lot like this woman wants a lot of attention going out there. And
she seems like she's generally been a little psycho-ish. I mean, it's not a medical diagnosis. We don't do that here. But there is the tendencies that can be observed by anyone that are a little off or a lot off. Yes. Say.
But what is a lot off now? Because now
she's from your neck of the woods. She's a Chicagoan.
Well, then they're definitely off. There's a lot of people off in this area. My wife works at the Village Hall here now. I think I mentioned that.
Yeah.
She's like, first thing the other day, there's a phone call from a woman that's like, how can you let Walgreens and CVS keep doing business now that they're abortion centers? It's like, what? Because they have a pharmacy, I guess, and they're providing whatever drugs. It's like, well, but then that would be all pharmacies, right? I mean, there are other pharmacies in town.
Well, but
people are weird.
I don't think there's any. I mean, maybe there are, but I don't believe there's any state laws against morning after pills.
No, which is exactly the response this woman got, was they are operating under the law of the land, and that's why they're still allowed to do business here. But people are whack.
Oh, I just got a breaking news alert.
Another?
Lucky Charms unveils new Ukrainian flag marshmallows in their cereal.
You see, there's been a lot of this stuff floating around, and most of it is lies, but that sounds like it could be true.
I would say most of it is true, but it sounds like it could be lies.
Yes. It's a very weird world we live in. And now I don't like getting text messages on my watch. I don't.
Oh,
like
I do. That's one just came up. The one I just read.
Right.
Was on my watch.
I'm watching you. So I saw that and I'm like making a comment about that.
Yeah.
In
about
particular.
the watch that my watch just popped up a message. Exactly.
It's very distracting.
Exactly.
You wonder why people today have no attention span. Although we kept a pretty big audience. Our show ran after No Agenda yesterday on the mighty No Agenda stream.
Yeah. Kind of like we tried to do it once live and then got insta-banned.
We've been insta-banned, and it's sad.
I mean, it was an open slot. I don't understand what the problem was, but apparently the powers that be didn't like it.
We kept 160, like 170 until the very end of the show, which is hard because we bloviate. So it's a 2-hour show.
Well, you bloviate. I just talk.
No, you bloviate. Trust me. I've heard Sergine Speaks. They're longer than my shows. So even though you talk slower,
I do.
You go
but
on
also,
longer.
I let the guests talk way more than me on that show.
Well, what about when you don't have any guests?
Those are rare. I obviously, when I don't have a guest and I'm talking, then it's just me. But those come out maybe once every month and a half.
There was a thing I saw the other day, like the fastest and slowest talking portions of the United States. And like the slowest talking town was Peoria, Illinois, which White Sox, Cleveland Indians legend Jim Tomei. I mean, just a mountain man of a guy. But I've always thought he talked very slow and deliberate. Now I understand why. Because if you're from Peoria, you speak slowly.
And it was the fastest Ben's house.
It could have been Ben Shapiro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay,
that is where the fastest talking started. It emanates from there, and it just slows down as you get further away from Shapiro's house.
Yeah. Which I think is in L.A., I believe.
Where's he originally from? I don't have no
LA.
idea.
He's an L.A. boy.
That would make sense. But all this drama stuff and all of this where there's fringe people pretending to be something else. It's like, why is anybody surprised and why do they care?
I think it's an escapism from reality, which is much worse, which is we're about to get nuked.
Are we?
I think so.
Wait, can't I buy something on Amazon yet to protect me from the angry Russian prepper site? Is that up yet? I mean, it's been a long time. We're in 2023. It has been a long
time. I probably should actually post a link to that. Yeah, we got our first product up there. Like I said, this product's really to test the company's manufacturing capabilities. And I think they're pretty good.
We're in Q1.
So I should probably give a link to people.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you want me to just send you a link and then you can stick it into
we can
the
put
link
it into the show notes? Sure. And what?
Great.
I don't think you ever told anybody exactly what the product is.
So I can do that. It is a Mylar poncho.
Ooh, a poncho. Is your face on it? That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. But no, that costs extra.
Well, yeah.
There is no face on the poncho.
I just ordered a bunch of posters from Costco because today's the last day that they're...
Oh, that's right. They're changing
service.
Yeah. Who did they sell it to?
Shutterfly.
Yeah. They've been buying everybody.
Which, how you know Shutterfly's a total scam is that now if you're a Costco member, you get 51% off on every order on Shutterfly.
That's pretty good discount.
Yeah, it is. Which also tells you they've uploaded the price nicely before giving you the discount.
Yeah.
But it's been years since I had ordered posters from them and I wanted some new ones. And I'm like, well, what should I make? And I'm like, well, of course, a bunch of Taylor Swift posters. And then we'll see if they actually make them or not.
Yeah, that could be copyrighted material you're not allowed to utilize.
Well, I had to click that I own the copyright. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure.
Well, that's not true.
No, it is.
Not really.
It is once I clicked it. I mean, it's up to them to figure it out.
I mean, I had one of those companies that makes canvases refuse to print a couple of my photos
of your own artwork
that I shot.
Yes.
Yeah. They happen to be nudes, but so what?
Well, now, was it on the basis that they didn't do erotica, or is it because they thought it was somebody else's work?
No, it's on the basis they didn't do erotica, which is bullshit because they previously had printed nudes.
Those bastards.
So they just decided selectively not to print a few, which motivated me to say, well, fuck them. And then I found a local place here in Austin that did the same kind of printing for more money.
Of course.
Used them for a little while, spent $1,000 on prints, and then said, well, fuck this shit. And I went and bought my own printer.
Oh, do you have a large format printer?
I used to.
Oh. How hard are they to upkeep? I hear they're a bitch, and although I'm sure technology has gotten better.
So it's like a lot of commercial products. They're not at all hard to upkeep if you're using them every day.
Right. But if you go to them and use them once every 6 months.
Yeah, then you're fucked. Because you know how you need to occasionally swap out cartridges on the smaller size inkjets because they get clogged if you don't use them.
Right.
Well, the print heads themselves, and there's 2 print heads that each do 4 colors each. So it's an 8-color printer. each print head is like $650.
Damn.
The ink cartridges are $130. If times 8. So the printer itself was $5,000. So in the grand scheme of things, it was not that much more expensive than what I was spending to print stuff. And I was selling the art. So it's not like I wasn't making money at it.
Right. So if you're going and turning it around, you need it.
I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then I got into, and this was a great company I had no problems with. There's a company that sells pre-cut framing kits. And I ended up doing the whole packages. So I would shoot the photos, print them on canvas, frame them, and then sell them.
Nice.
Yeah, it was actually enjoyable. I don't like framing. To me, was not hard work. It was pretty straightforward stuff, and it kind of each one you did, you improved a little bit.
Yes. Well, it's not hard, but
no, it doesn't take a genius to frame.
And the hardest thing is getting the glass to the right size for any custom size.
This is why I did canvas. You don't do glass.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're all. What was the phrase? They're museum prints or something like that. Basically, it's where you wrap the canvas around the frame.
Nice.
So it's you don't see the frame at all. The frame is behind the canvas.
So that's why I figured we'll see. This is our last day. Figured I'd order a bunch of crap.
Yeah, might as well.
And that way could have
get one of Eliza Blue.
Well, right. I don't think I would want that. Although if we made them of us. Not. If we made posters, we should have made posters of us, and then we could like sell them as targets for the rain.
Well, that would be a hilarious thing to do, actually.
Although I don't think we need like $10 luster prints for that. We could probably not. We could probably get a little cheaper.
And I don't know if it's any cheaper to do in a decent size. I mean, that's the thing, is it depends on the size, because the price does not scale linearly with the size.
True. That's it.
The paper, by the way, for that printer, I think I covered the ink.
Oh yeah, the big itself. Rolls, baby.
The paper was $150 a roll.
But that'll do a few posters. It's not.
Oh yeah. So it was 48 inches wide. No, 36. It was 36 inches wide. So I would typically either print 36 by 24s,
right,
or 36 poster. By 48s.
Oh, nice.
So there was a version of that printer that was 48 inches, but the extra foot in width added like $3,000 to the cost of printer.
Oh yeah, which is why I'm sure Costco is always maxed out at 20 by 30 prints, because they only go 20 wide.
Yeah, it's whatever the narrower size, or they do have a 40 printer and they always do 2 prints at a time.
That could work too.
That could be the case. But I mean, this was the commercial one, the same exact one that print shops would use if you bring your stuff to a print shop. Quality was excellent, and on paper it was even better. I just didn't want to deal with paper because paper is a lot more finicky. There's a lot more stuff that can go wrong on a print because of the textured surface of canvas.
Yeah, a little more forgiving.
And the special coatings they've got that kind of absorbs the ink and keeps it, inside there. So it's not on top of the paper. It's like bleeding into the canvas. It was just easier to work with. And it was a little more unusual because there's a lot fewer places that sell canvas prints than regular paper prints.
The more you know. And this all came from talking about putting your face on a poncho.
Yeah. So the ponchos, so those are available. We'll have the link to it. I just lowered the price on them too.
Wow.
I want to move them fast. So there you go for waiting and not getting them right away. Cause I put them up about a month ago. But they're moving kind of slow. So I'm like, okay, well, we did this to test the company. I don't need to make really any money on them. I just need to get my money back. So I just dropped the price on them.
Are they selling slow because you haven't told anybody they exist yet?
I mean, that could be, but see, this is the problem is,
let me talk to your marketing department.
Let me that's exactly who I was going to blame it on. I'm like, dude, I have a partner in this business. He is literally a marketing guy. So I've kind of done my job. I wrote the check to get these done. And kind of up to him to do the marketing. But it wouldn't hurt for people that listen to this to get one. So let me describe. I'm doing a horrible job of selling these things.
Yeah, we're
let me
working
describe
on
the reason for these. The reason to buy it isn't. I know, right? The reason to buy these isn't just to help Gene.
But it's mainly, to be fair, it's mainly to help Gene.
It well, kind of. But here, I think everybody should have one of these in their glove box. Because what it is, I don't know about you, but like I've had a thermal blanket in my car's spare tire well, pretty much my whole life in every car I've ever had, because it's part of the first aid / emergency kit you should have. The problem with thermal blankets is because they're so damn thin and small format, which is super convenient. They're also very flimsy, which means the slightest wind will move it around, which means from a practical setting, you have to hold the thing around yourself at all times. You can't just kind of cover yourself up the way you could with a heavy blanket. It'll stay there. The thin Mylar thermal blankets, the solar blankets, they're also called, they will blow away at the slightest wind. So it basically takes up one hand, leaving you just one hand to actually do things if your car broke down or whatever you're using it for. And this is the cool aspect of the Poncho, is it's basically that, but it has seams on both sides, and it has a hood, which keeps your head warmer, unlike thermal blanket generally don't wrap that around your head. So this is like an evolution of the thermal blanket into a poncho, which gives you both your hands to be free. And, it's just more useful. It's orange on the outside and shiny silver on the inside facing you.
There are a lot of these on Amazon.
There are, yes. There's a ton of competition, which is also why a lot of companies make these and why it's a good product to test how well a company actually manufactures.
That would make sense.
This is not an original invention, and I think I talked about it. My actual concept for the radiation suit. But here, you can, now that you know what this is, you can see why this is the product I'm testing it with. Because the radiation suit is going to have a layer that is Mylar on it.
Oh.
Yeah. So
you are now the poncho guy.
I guess, yeah. You can call me the poncho salesman.
He's going to have a few with them. At any meetup, he'll have a few in his pocket.
Yeah. Like $100 donation gets you one.
100? You could probably lower that a little bit.
Well, they're sold for a lot less. No, I think the current price I am at is it's a 3-pack. You get in a little packet, and I want to say they're at $15.
A bargain at any price.
Yeah, and the just like a solar thermal blanket, I will tell you, once you unwrap it and put it on, you will never shrink it back down to the same size that it was when you get it.
Yeah, so they're kind of like condoms. You really don't want to use them more than once.
You could totally use them more than once, but you'll never shrink it back down to that same size. Just a fair warning. So my recommendation for anybody, and this is what I've got in my car, is just I chuck the 3-pack of them into my glove box. That way, whether I have multiple passengers in the car or whether it's just me, there's going to be one on there. And then when I run out of them, I'll just chuck another packet in there. But they're also waterproof. But the main thing is just if you're in, like north of where I'm at, where it's 65 degrees here,
which you're not
you don't really need a thermal blanket.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you're in any northern places, these are super useful for staying warm. You could put them under clothes or over clothes, either or. But even like in the middle of summer, you just put it inside out to have the shiny reflective side on the outside, and they will keep a very substantial amount of sunlight from warming you up.
Let's see. Next week on Monday, it's going to be 13 degrees here for a high, so I could use one.
Damn. All right. Go ahead and order one, man. You'll get it by then.
What's the brand name? Which one? I mean, because there are like 8,000 of these.
Yeah. I'll provide the link, obviously. There are a bunch of different companies that have them on there right now. So it's Yukon Trading Company is our company name.
Wow, that sounds pretty legit.
That's like I said, my partner is a marketing dude, so there should be some things that are good about it.
It's like, it sounds like this company would have been around for like multiple decades.
That was literally the point. Yeah, exactly.
So you're starting off with a lie.
First, hello, sales and marketing. Hello.
Yes. Welcome to the new,
there's no lie. You're just making an assumption. You're lying to yourself.
I get it.
Yeah, we're just, nice established outbacking firm.
Sure. I mean, you're a couple of guys in the outback.
Outback. Exactly. We're in the Yukon. We trade things. We trade things in the Yukon.
Yukon Supply Company. Well, and of course,
honestly, I would have forgotten to mention it again if you didn't remind me.
Yes. Well, and also like the main image on Amazon is the package. It's like, no, everybody else is the item, so you can see what it is.
Yeah, I probably need to change that. That's a good point. Yeah, any other suggestions? I'm wide open to it because I've never sold shit on Amazon. This has been a learning experience for me.
But I mean, where else can you get 3 ponchos for $11.69, free shipping, free returns? Okay, do that. Everybody buy 100 of these.
God, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick, man. You know how returns work on Amazon?
Yeah, you get screwed.
Yeah, you get screwed because what happens in the return is Amazon doesn't pay the seller because it was returned. Neither do they provide the item back.
Right.
But they do then chuck that item into Amazon bundles of returns, which you can buy. Usually there's about 20, 30, 50 products in each bundle. And
you like buy a pallet.
Yeah, you buy large boxes that have a bunch of returned items. So if you start returning a bunch of them, that's just stealing money.
Legally,
and that's the opposite of what I would like. I would like money given.
Wait, you want to make money on this? I thought you were going to different.
I need to break even, dude. I need to break even, and at the price they're at, it's pretty damn close to break even right now.
Nice.
So I did like the perfect job of getting these manufactured because my thought was these are going to be quick and dirty, so I want to get them out to Amazon ASAP. So I paid for air shipping for these
from China.
Yeah, from China. Yeah, these were air shipped to China overnight.
So the COVID-19 on these is fresh.
Oh, totally.
Get it now. Get your directly from. I mean, I think we need to get some reviews on this. That'd be great.
Yes, good. I forgot about those. That's a good point. Yes, reviews would be awesome. So instead of making donations to this show or any other shows, just buy like a pack of these and leave a great review talking about how it fits conveniently into your glove box. Like, I think that would be a hilarious review. Don't talk about what it's useful for. Talk about how it fits perfectly in your glove box. That way I'll know that it was a review of somebody that was listening to the podcast.
Yeah, and if you do a video of yourself wearing this, be sure to let us know where that is.
Yeah. Or a video of you putting it in your glove box. Literally, that's the usage video is you take the packet and you put it in your glove box. That would be funny as hell.
I like the
stuff.
text. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ned's like, what is Sir Gene pimping? Go to Amazon. Search for Yukon Supply Emergency Solar Thermal Blanket. It's blaze orange. Glenn Beck may come after you for calling it blaze orange. And that was one of the things that I think all our products moving forward are going to be blaze orange. We kind of decided that's a good color. Just do is blaze orange for everything. Fits over backpack to protect both you and your gear. So this thing, so the size of this thing fits not just over me, but over me wearing a backpack. And if it fits over you wearing a backpack, it will fit over anybody. Anybody, literally. I mean, you could put a small family underneath this thing. This is also the review I want. That I want like 6 people. My small family fits inside of this. Yeah, exactly. That would be awesome. Oh yeah, yeah. It's down to $11. So it was 15. It's holy shit. I might be losing money now. $11.69 for a 3-pack. So if this is something you need, definitely a loss. Okay, yeah, go for it. Buy these things and don't return them. I think my cost was like $4 per unit. So 12. So I'm losing Now, who sets
I'm
the
losing
price?
31 cents.
Is this like an automatic thing if Amazon's not selling
it is. Absolutely.
Wow.
Amazon will auto adjust prices
How far
on your
will they
behalf
go?
to keep as low as they want.
Really?
Yep.
I like that.
They will go as low as they want. And the way that they adjust prices is based on the speed of purchases. But clearly, not many people have bought this because they've dropped the price quite a bit.
Like down.
Yeah. And so if a few people start buying these, then the price may start going back up.
Let me look
But yeah,
at
the
your
price
item.
I said was $15. And then, they have, like, they tell you ahead of time, obviously, that they will adjust prices if they feel like it.
It doesn't even come up on Camel yet. So I'm assuming that means you haven't sold enough.
On what? What's a camel?
You've never been to camel.com?
No.
Oh my goodness. It's the best thing you could ever go to if you shop on Amazon. You give it the link to any Amazon product and it will show you the price history over like the last year plus.
Really? Now that sounds useful.
Yes. So if you want to know if what you're ordering is at the high end or the low end or it's the best price you've ever seen.
Amazon used to just do that. They used to tell you that information years ago.
Not anymore.
No, they don't anymore, for sure.
And no, Ned, you cannot get those in urban camo. It's only blaze orange.
Yeah. I mean, there are other people selling it in urban camo that you could get. So if you just want to get one, get it in whatever color you want. But if you want to get one and support me, or at least only make me lose 31 cents.
Right. Every item you buy loses Gene money. See, this is a sales
That's
technique.
True. Yeah.
Right now, CSB just ordered 1,000 of them. Every one I order, that's Russian apologist losing money.
Drink when you said that. Oh my God.
It's awesome.
I almost spilled my drink. Jesus Christ. Dude.
I will show Russian bastard.
Yeah. I mean, I could end up selling 1,000 of these. So there's 3,000 for sale. That was the order. So there's probably like 2,900 left.
I can get free delivery on Sunday. So within 48 hours, I can get delivery.
That means it's warehouse not far from you.
Yeah. But we've got a lot of them here.
Yeah. But it's, I'm pretty sure they were $4 a piece. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I won't lose too much.
See, that's always the best venture you can get into.
I mean, again, I wasn't really optimizing to make money on this. I was testing the manufacturer.
It is
not to say I want to lose money.
Survival. I do like I will say I like the company logo.
Yeah. Cool. The box design was not an easy thing. I mean, we hired somebody to do it.
You needed
but it looks like a real box,
Well, is it actually a box? I mean, because I don't know how it wouldn't be.
No, it comes with a box, but it's a...
Wait, all of this and a box?
Well...
You're burying the lead. You get the box too?
You get the box too. So I think the box was a mistake, to be honest, because
you
the
could have
box
just had like an envelope.
Is needed for retail sales, right? So this is basically ready for retail. Don't really need a box on Amazon because, as you say, the first picture is a box, and it's like, why the fuck am I looking at a box? I don't care what the box looks like. So yeah, it's probably could have skipped the box, just put it in a plastic bag or something, and then, saved like 50 cents or something.
So if you're looking for the ultimate Valentine's Day gift for your lover,
then don't buy this. But if you get a spare $11.69, you want to support me not losing too much money, but you want to make me lose a little bit, then by all means buy this thing.
Yeah, if you want to have Gene lose a little money, the troll room wants the link. I'll give him the link here.
Yeah, give him the link. You got it.
This is probably way too long of a link, but that'll work.
I love that they put it on 11.69.
69, dude.
Uh-huh.
It is 100% Mylar. High visibility, safety orange. for emergency situations to make a rescue easier.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Not written by a Chinese person at all.
No.
Uh-uh.
No, I just like that it protects my gear.
It does. The fact that this is really big, and, I'm not a skinny guy. Y'all know that. And that it's big enough literally for me to put it on while I'm wearing a backpack.
Dug It Up wants to know if there's a non-Bezos option. Yes, you have to be in Austin and find Gene. He will have them in his pocket.
If there's a non-Bezos option, I don't want to get in the habit of this. I could probably send you one, but the problem is me shipping costs way more than Amazon shipping. So
yeah, because Amazon's got people. They're just going to throw it in a car.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of, you can't compete with it. Even shipping this to Amazon. So eat a box of how many of these? I think it's a box of like 80 of these that they come in to ship to Amazon. That costs me $15 to ship it to Amazon using Amazon. Right? So that's how much Amazon charges me to ship them the product.
Well, they're nice.
If I shipped it myself, FedEx would charge me $65. Or UPS, FedEx, they're both in the same price range. It'd be about $65. So it's literally $50 cheaper to use Amazon's own people than to ship it. Because a box of like 60 of these is 50 pounds.
And it's interesting that they then take this product that you provide to one location and they just send them all around to all of their warehouses. So boom.
Yeah. Now, they only do that for a little while, because if these actually start selling at decent quantities, then they will tell me that I need to ship each box to a separate warehouse.
That would make sense. But my question is, for these folks that, because yours obviously ships from Amazon, for all of these companies that ship direct, what kind of a nightmare is that?
So I have a buddy a company that I used to invest in, that I helped found, I guess, technically, that makes wallets that are sold on Amazon. He got, after a couple of years of shipping his product to Amazon, he got set up as a direct shipper. And what happened was he had to have the Amazon approved equipment, basically, to create labels. And he had to show they actually sent a human being over to look at it, to show that he had everything necessary to package these properly.
And so they actually check up on how well you're going to ship.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that's a random thing or they do it for everybody, but you can sign up as a self shipper, but you have to jump through their extra hoops to qualify to do that. It makes sense for larger operations where you have an actual warehouse yourself. And then you're still using you're getting pretty good deals on the shipping. But if you're doing what I'm doing, which is just trying to do as little as possible yourself,
yes,
then just shipping over to Amazon makes sense. So Amazon takes, actually, I'm losing a lot more than 31 cents because Amazon will take about 33% of this.
And so, I just placed my order, man. I'm getting them on Sunday.
Good deal.
I'll do a review.
All right, perfect. I think you've done a couple. You might know how to do reviews on Amazon.
It may be the most entertaining video review Amazon will ever see.
I think I'm looking forward to seeing it. That's going to be fun.
I am not related to this company, Yukon Supply Company, at all.
You're not?
They are very good sellers of this particular product. And I look good in orange.
Yeah, and if you can do a computerized voice instead of your own voice, that'd be even better.
Even better. Get a little AI. So maybe I can borrow one of your Descript things, and it can just.
That's right. There's a bunch of services, both from, I think Microsoft has their Cortana available, and Google's got their voices that are very good. And this is what you always hear on these sort of what I refer to as Chinese videos. I don't know if they're actually Chinese or Indian or whatever, but
there's somebody that don't speak English or don't want to talk.
It's somebody that does not speak English, or at least they have a very thick accent in English. They don't want to talk, and the videos are generally made up of stock video and stock images. And there might be a video on Elon Musk's new success, and then you click on it thinking it's something interesting, and it's basically a bunch of videos and shots of Musk at various locations with no sound of Musk talking, just the video portion. And then you have what I know is a computer generated voice, but it sounds really good. It's just, I've heard enough of these things to know what a computer generated voice is. It's not even that it's mispronouncing things. It's just the style of video. And I swear to God, they must offer classes like in China or India on how you can make money off YouTube.
And you do
by doing a video a day.
Yeah, pimp this stuff out.
You don't have to have anything. You can find all these videos, all the photos. Just pull them off Google, pull them off YouTube, and then just edit them into something, and then stick the computer generated voice on there. And even if you're making 25 cents a video,
it's more than we're making.
You know, it is more than we're making. Damn straight. I'm fucking losing money on these damn blankets.
NetNet says part of the review should be the owner is not carrying water for Putin at all. No, it's better. That gave me an idea, though. It's like, this is a great poncho. If I ever need to carry water for a Russian dictator, then I would definitely wear this to carry that water. Because if it's splashed, not going to get wet.
Not going to get wet. Now, these are waterproof as well as thermal. And they're high visibility in case you go hunting.
Because I often go hunting.
The other bit is, well, you live in Chicago.
Different kind of hunting. Yeah. No, we're hunting here in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's another benefit of the Blaze Orange. Not just for like your car gets stuck in the middle of a snowstorm and you want to be visible, which is useful, but also if you are going hunting, putting one of these in your backpack would also be useful in case the weather starts getting inclement.
Always be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
For all of your needs, go to the Yukon Supply Company.
That's right. On Amazon.
Well, if you want Gene to lose money with every sale.
Pretty much. Oh, well.
But it was a proof of concept.
Yeah. It wasn't even so much proof of concept as a test of the business. So once the full design is done of the actual radiation suit, then we'll be getting that manufactured. Probably, I hesitate to give a timeline given how long I've taken on these damn things.
Will your picture be on the radiation
Sometimes
suit?
This year, preferably before the nukes fly.
Maybe. Well, see, otherwise they're less useful.
I know. That would be my luck to get a shipment coming into Amazon just as we get nuked.
Will your picture be on the radiation suits, and will you include like some
do you think there's a benefit to having my picture on the radio? Because it's going to cost me money. I mean, I'll do it if you think it's a benefit.
I think it's a selling point. That way people know that the quality is in the item.
The quality is in the item. Yeah. Well, that's true.
I mean, why do you think people buy polo shirts with the little horse and...
Yeah, well, we were going to have the Yukon logo on the radiation suits, but I guess if you think my face would be better than the logo, then I could do that.
I mean, does Yukon scream radiation? No, but your face kind of screams radiation.
I don't know about that. Yeah. All right. Are we done with the ad break?
Was that... Do I have to charge you for this then?
Well, no, you're going to give me money because I'm losing money in every order.
This was just entertaining people and explaining how the Amazon system works. For anybody that wants to get involved in this, you've scared them off, I think, by this point.
I hope so. Yeah, Amazon is not where you make money by selling products. Amazon is where you can build a name for a company by selling products, but you definitely will not make. And I've worked with multiple Amazon sellers, consulting them because I'm an expert. And it's the same story for pretty much everybody. The only way you make money is when you have a unique product that literally nobody else has.
Right.
And that typically will last between 1 and 3 months before guaranteed it's knocked off. And for the super successful products, like somebody starts selling something and they sell 1 million of them in the first month, or $1 million worth in the first month.
Yeah, like the those little sponges that look like the sun.
There you go. Amazon will just knock them off themselves and
Right.
start selling it directly.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah. I mean,
There's
Amazon,
that.
everything. And there's so much of this stuff, and I have no company or brand loyalty to things. I mean, it's everything from the like Swiffer type mops. My mom needed those, and she's like, "Can you order
Mhm.
some of those?" I'm like, "Oh wait, there's an Amazon brand that's like half the price." And
Mhm.
we have yet to try one of the Amazon brands of whatever and go, "Wow,
Mhm.
this is crap." They're actually making good stuff that competes with the name brands.
It's not bad. I just bought a like a doggy water bowl for my snake on Amazon, and it's an Amazon brand thing.
They make decent stuff. I mean, you could hate on them for a whole bunch of reasons, but it's the same kind of a concept that we have in the digital world with Google. It's like there's a monopoly. There's no question.
Yeah. It's no different than going to a grocery store and buying the grocery store branded product.
Which they want you to do. I mean, we shop a lot at Meijer, and their brands are actually really good most of the time. Again, there's exceptions, but why wouldn't you buy their brand if it's a third of the price?
Totally. No, I shop at HEB, and that's same thing. I like a lot of the HEB branded products are actually super good. They're no worse, and sometimes better than the big national brands.
Things are changing in the way people buy. And I guess Amazon's not really a monopoly because there is still Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I don't really order at Walmart unless I'm physically next to a Walmart store and I want to pop in and get something quick. But Walmart technically is still bigger than Amazon.
It's close, but yeah, I think they were still last year. Or if not, it was the first year that it was overtaken.
No, I'm pretty sure they weren't overtaken. I'll do a quick check while we're chatting.
Well,
here.
I know Sam's Club, which is their version of Costco, which has been around longer, I think, at least around here, maybe not nationwide.
I think Costco was before Sam's Club. I think Sam's Club was a response to Costco. Costco started in the 1960s in San Diego.
Damn. Okay, it's been around a while, just not in this area.
Yep.
But I saw Sam's Club, they're opening up a bunch in this year. So they're still building, they're still expanding.
Yeah. And I think I mostly have used Costco over the years, but I've been to Sam's Club a number of times. And it's super similar. There's not a whole lot. It just kind of like Costco's the Target.
Yes,
Sam's
Costco's
Club's the Walmart.
A little bit more refined.
It has that impression,
yes.
But I don't know if the food's any better. It's probably the exact same shit.
Probably. But they have the little cafeteria where you can get a hot dog.
Yeah, I always used to get the pizza because pizza is like $2 a slice or something super cheap.
It was pretty cheap. And they had, although I think they got rid of one of the flavor. I think it's only cheese and like everything now rather than just pepperoni. And it's like, no, I want just pepperoni. I don't want everything. Or maybe they dumped everything.
I want everything except the pepperoni. I don't want pepperoni. We could totally do pizza together because I don't eat pepperoni.
You can split it in half. It's been a long time.
Yeah, Walmart is still ahead by 30 billion.
It's a pretty big lead. I mean, not huge when you're looking at what they're
Amazon's
doing.
121 billion. Walmart is 151 billion for sales.
Hey, I would take either one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the other question. Why aren't you selling your ponchos at the Walmart site too, where you can sell
Haven't thought about it. Probably should.
Yeah. You're Walmart people, man.
Maybe I should consult with you next time I decide to make a product.
Because I have the ideas.
I haven't thought of a lot of these things because I don't, like I said, I've never sold anything on Amazon. I've never done really product-y stuff. I've always just done consulting and business stuff.
Yeah. And
back end.
I've thought about it because I had ideas for a few things. I mean, just easy stuff to make, like the weight that you put on your turntable to keep your record flat. And, allegedly this helps keep errant, vibrations down and all that. And I have a buddy that has a bunch of different businesses, and it's always, at one point he had a plastics business. He has his main business is coatings, which kind of like electro coatings. And he does work for like Gillette and Kimber Firearms and all this other kind of stuff. But they've got what do you call them? The CNC mills where you can take any and just throw the stuff in. I'm like, well, this would be easy. because mainly what you just want is like a cool looking device, because a record weight would be dirt cheap. And it's like, well, you can take whatever metal you make that out of, and then he can coat it with whatever cool look that you want on top of it. But it's like, I've always thought the whole way of trying to sell this stuff would just be way more hassle than the money that would come back.
Well, you definitely figured out a niche for selling used tickets and shit like that, which is crazy.
Yeah, and that's gone up and down, but it's like you just have to figure out what's going to be the thing. And, what, especially with the collectible market, that is anybody's guess.
Well, and the obvious thing here, too, is you have to be serious about this stuff. Like, you can't just dabble in it because, like I said, even kidding aside, I am definitely going to be losing money on every single one sold, because the costs all add up. Like, you don't really see them go, oh, it's 50 cents for this and it's 12 cents for that and it's 30 cents for this.
Right.
But you get to that point where you're like, oh, hold on. That's
you're like, what am I making now?
That's upside down. Yeah, exactly. So it is. It is. And obviously the radiation is going to be way more expensive because that's a custom product.
Yes. Well, you want to sell something that not everybody else has, because if everybody else has it, then it is price, which right now you may be like the cheapest poncho out there. So people may start flocking to that.
Probably, because I think when I put it at $15, that was like 50 cents under the next
everybody else.
And I didn't realize it dropped this low. So, yeah.
To get now you have no ability to set a bottom line or anything on that. Huh? It's just, it's because otherwise they don't sell. And then Amazon,
I can pull them, but yeah, Amazon, basically you set a price, they'll keep it at that price for a week or so, and then they'll watch how fast they're selling. And if they're not selling at a rate that Amazon determines they should be, then they will start dropping the price on your behalf.
Now, I'm just surprised that you haven't sent these to your favorite OnlyFans girls or your Instagram.
Oh, I have.
And be like, would you wear this, please? I'll give you money.
Oh, yeah, right. That costs a lot of money. No, I have sent it out to a number of people. I need to send one out to Adam.
But I had to buy one. Your buddy here on Unrelenting.
He's poor, man. He's a poor podcaster. Right. He doesn't have money to buy these things.
I'm waiting for my free Apple Watch and my free iPad Mini or whatnot. Not iPad Mini, the Mini Mac, whatever they call it now.
Mac Mini.
Yeah, I was thinking of buying one of the new ones.
Yeah,
the Mac 2 with the M2 Pro chip. It's like, okay, so for like
I've got the M1, and I mean they have. The M2 M1 would just be even faster.
Well, the new one actually allows you to run 3 monitors without having anything else. So I can just plug that baby right into my system and use the same 3 monitor system that I'm using now. And then I'm assuming I'd be able to easily just switch back and forth with a switch between the Windows and the...
Yeah. I mean, back in the old days, we had a physical switch. I think you could probably just do it all through software these days.
Yeah, and the Mac Minis are so damn small.
They are. Yeah, they've always been the right form factor. I mean, I think Apple sold way more of the computers that's built into the monitor type.
Yes. Oh yeah, which I think people are finally getting tired of because you realize you're very
because the monitor lasts longer than the computer. Or the computer you will want to upgrade way before you want to upgrade the monitor. But I've always just gotten Mac Minis because to me, I've got monitors and the monitors are better and bigger than what Apple sells. So why would I want their monitor and computer all in one? It doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah. And the Mac Mini now, they're comparing the horsepower under the hood to the MacBook Pros. So it's like, well, I don't really use laptops because I don't leave the house much.
Right.
So it's not like I need to do rendering on the road, but for video and stuff, it looks like these things fly for taking your videos and rendering them in the software of your choice.
Yeah. No, that's true. So as far as the Apple Watch, the one I got is, I think, one generation older than the one that you bought. But since you bought one already, we could raffle mine off.
Ooh.
To
buy a
podcast.
poncho.
To somebody that's a listener
who bought a orange poncho from.
Yeah, there you go.
To enter this,
I mean,
buy an orange poncho.
I guess that's an interesting way of doing it because it's basically like, well, it used to be a $400 and then some dollar watch. Now it's probably worth like $250. But still, if you buy a poncho,
yeah,
it's $11 for a chance to get a at least a $250 probably higher dollar Apple Watch. Not the
you said it was a
current
6, right?
generation. Yeah, it's a 6.
They're up to the 8. What are the 6s selling for?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Used on eBay.
Yeah,
where everything's a scam.
Well,
unless when people buy tickets for $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a scam.
Clearly. No, not at all. Obviously, that's good.
Not if you're selling it.
About $135 for
really. That's it. Okay, well, 135. Yeah, I would have assumed it'd be still more than that, but I don't know.
Because everybody's like, I need new. I want new. I want new. New. They have new. They have new.
Yeah. News. You can get new for $400. Sure.
And I've noticed again that Xfinity, if you're on Xfinity Mobile, if you want one of the, it's not, they changed the name, but it's the smaller form factor size Apple phone, but it's a current Apple phone. They're giving those away free again.
Okay.
As long as you bring in a new number. And remember, you can get a new number just by going to Google Voice and porting it out. They accept that.
I thought you couldn't get a Google Voice number anymore. I thought they stopped giving out new numbers.
No, they're still there. You just have to jump through more hoops to be able to verify that you're a real person.
Somebody told me that they stopped giving out numbers.
No, they're still there. Do
you get one every week or what?
No, but it wasn't that long ago that I got one for when my wife started the new job, she got another phone, which again, free from Xfinity Mobile. So added a work phone free. And I grabbed a Google
So all
Voice
you needed to do was just give them an existing number and they give you a free phone.
If you don't have an existing number, you have to pay like $700 for the phone. But
that's insane.
Yes. And you have to keep it on your account for 2 years. Otherwise, they'll charge you. But after 2 years, you can just go sell that phone. So these are brand new phones.
Well,
you can
how much is the monthly on the phone?
It's $0 for me because I just pay by the data. So I only pay for 1 gig of data a month because nobody in my family uses data.
Sure.
And you can have like up to 10 phones on the account. So it doesn't add $1 to the bill.
What do you mean? Really? So you could just, by having another number, you give that number to Xfinity, they ship you a brand new phone, and your bill hasn't changed.
Yes.
That's fucked up.
Well, no, that's actually not true because when I added the last phone, there was a promotion that lowered my internet bill by $30 a month for the next 2 years.
Jesus Christ. So they paid you $30 a month to get a new phone.
Yes.
My God.
I know. I was like, okay. I'm like, are you sure? Because I had to ask the guy like a few times, like, really? This is, you're going to, so my bill's not going to go up. I'm going to have another phone. I'm going to have another, and my internet's going to go down. All right, cool.
Well, how much are you paying for the internet for the Xfinity bill?
For now, once this has all been adjusted for 2 years, I'm paying $50 a month for gig.
Fuck you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And how many phones do you have?
Currently, let's see, my mom, my dad, me, and my wife. My wife has an extra. I have an extra. So 6 or 7.
6 or 7 phones for $50.
No. See, that's the internet's $50. Then the phone, I think, costs about 35 or something bucks a month.
Per phone or total?
No, total.
That's fucked up.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, dude. That is just, nobody's making money there.
Well, that's why I like it.
Oh my God. That's insane.
My latest billing cycle from Xfinity, December 18th to January 17th, my bill was $30.20 for the 6 phones altogether.
Jesus Christ.
I know. Why would anybody want to pay? Now, if you need to be out and about and you need to be using cellular data, you will have to have a much more expensive plan. But
sure. But I mean, you got a bunch of burner phones.
Yes. And you can just keep adding them. As long as you don't use data, you can do as much calling and as much texting as you want.
Yeah.
You just can't use data.
Really?
Yes. And around here, there are Xfinity hotspots like everywhere we seem to go.
Huh.
Which means you still don't have to use the mobile data.
Huh.
It's a great deal.
That is shocking.
I don't know what the scam is because we used to pay like $130 a month just for the internet.
That's why I assumed it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, that all came down because we kept adding phones and it's like, oh, keep giving you a discount. I mean, maybe I would like to where the point where they would pay me to keep using their internet.
They're like, wow, that's a great customer. He's got like 8 phones.
Yeah.
We love customers like this.
Uh-huh.
Nobody checks how much you actually pay.
There has to be something about the amount of numbers they have. This has to be like in the old days where magazines wanted subscribers so they could sell them to an advertiser or something.
Right. Yeah.
There's got to be some reason they really want you to keep bringing in the new numbers. Obviously, they think they're taking business from another company, but they know it's coming from Google Voice. It's not like it's a surprise. They can check where the number's coming from. And they do accept the Google Voice as, oh, you're bringing an existing number in. So really, there's no reason not to get like a new phone every 2 years. The only downside, well, bear with me because it's not really a downside. I was going to say the only downside is you have to keep getting a new phone number.
You're right. But that's not a downside. That's an upside as far as I'm concerned.
One, it's an upside. But if you really want to keep your old number, you can just swap the SIM cards.
Right.
So, I mean, it's like, okay, you can take that.
Yeah. And I've done that before where you order the phone with a new number, then you just put in your old SIM.
We do need a kiosk in the mall. That is absolutely, I would love to see Gene work in the mall, see Brooklyn.
Yeah. Good luck.
Want to buy some ponchos? Come on. But yeah, if you
I wonder if they would sell in the mall. I mean, people don't really go to malls, but back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day.
You know.
I could see you walking these things outside of a Vikings game or something, you know?
Yeah.
Somebody's just slapping
totally
logos.
Different looking horns.
Exactly. Ed Zachary. It's the entrepreneurial spirit. But for people that have Xfinity Internet, if they have Xfinity Mobile, I don't know how many areas they're in around the country now. But if you can get it and you have their internet, and again, if you don't need the mobile data, then you can get a great deal on the price of what these things are. At first, I believe it was limited to like 4 or 5 phones, and I think they lifted that, which, okay, I'll just keep taking new phones and adding them. We're like running a sweatshop here. We have so many phone numbers. And the beautiful thing is you could tie them all into like one Google Voice number anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think Google Voice is, I think it's if they haven't sunsetted, I think they're not far from doing it because they clearly did not do much with that service once they rolled it out. The interface still looks like it's 15 years old. Oh, yeah. I mean, the nice thing is, though, it's easy to use that and add it into a podcasting setup. So if we ever ran into somebody who didn't know how to plug a microphone in or something like that, and you really had to get an interview, you could do it over the old phone system.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, that's cool. So we talk about me losing money and you getting hella deals.
Yes, I like hella deals. And that you're going to send Adam some free ponchos so he can talk about it on No Agenda.
Yeah, I got to do that because I told him I would and I just forgot.
You sending some to JCD as well? You're going to send him some ponchos?
Oh, yeah, I got to send some to him as well.
And I ordered my mom the...
You ordered your mom a poncho?
No, not the poncho. No, she doesn't need the poncho, but I always order her some...
Does she not need to be... in case she's hunting?
I mean, maybe. You never know. Having it in the car is probably not a bad idea. Especially if you have to travel when it's 13 degrees out. But she likes wine, and her favorite baseball player was Tom Seaver, and he has a winery, even though he's dead now. But I thought it was interesting just knowing, kind of following how the weather and stuff affects these wineries, because it was like the most limited. Last year, they had 2 different bottlings that you could order 3 bottles, and then you could ask for more. This year, it was like you could get 1 bottle of each and then ask for more if possible. But they're like, this is the smallest yield they've ever had because of, I'm guessing, the weather. I don't remember if that was the fire year, the really bad one, like 3 years ago. But it's interesting to see how things.
Do they have a fire every year?
Well, it's sometimes they're worse than others in California.
Yeah.
But it's really good wine too. So I would never buy it for myself. It's like $150 a bottle right from the winery. But it's good. It's a nice Cab Sav out of beautiful California. But when they're trying to burn the place down, it's, I guess it means less wine for you.
Why is that?
Well, not for you, for the world.
Oh, for the world. Sure. Yeah.
It's supply and demand, though. So I was kind of surprised they didn't raise the price. It's kind of like if you're the only guy selling ponchos, you could sell them for more.
Yeah, no, that's true. But again, like, that wasn't the goal.
You didn't really.
The goal was
you didn't think the whole thing out.
No, I did. I just I was assuming it'd be more than I wouldn't be losing money on them. I was kind of hoping I would be.
That's how how this podcast started too. I was like, I'm really hoping I'm not going to lose money at this, and then look, I'm like, wow, there's bills for this. Wow, damn it.
But there are bills. That's true. Well, dude, I mean, shit, I do 3 podcasts
just to pay for one.
Well, not. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, but yeah, theoretically.
You're right. You're like, they could if one was successful. I mean, if you don't know this, everybody listening, you can be a guest on Sir Gene Speaks. The rate is $150 an hour.
Oh, it's less than that.
Oh, you've lowered that now?
Oh, dude, it's $50 an hour.
Oh, but isn't there a minimum of like 3 hours?
it ends up being about 3 hours. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But it depends on how many questions I have. Like the interview I did yesterday with DeFango was only like an hour and a half, so 90 minutes.
Well, that's short for a Sir Gene.
It is short for a Sir Gene. Although my solo shows with no guests are typically 1 hour.
Because you can only stand talking to yourself for that long.
Well, I get the message across in an hour.
You're more succinct. Boom, you're hitting it.
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of like your show is only half an hour.
Exactly. Yeah. No, the solo show's usually about 45 minutes. They can go down to a half hour, usually not much less than that. And if you want, I mean, I don't know if Bemrose is listening, but I have a dental appointment on Wednesday. So maybe if you want to be part of a Grumpy Old Ben's with Bemrose on Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday afternoon, I think that would work for me.
I mean, you should reach out to him and be like, hey, we can get the band back together.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm at the endodontist getting 3D, whatever they do of your mouth.
Did you hear Adam on Rogan?
No, I have downloaded it, but I haven't watched it yet.
So he was talking about his teeth ordeal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. It's an ordeal when, how many did he have extracted? Like double digits.
Like 12. But the bigger issue apparently was that his upper jawbone was weakened. And so they couldn't just stick the metal spikes in there. They have to get his bone regrown, which they usually do with implanting some cadaver bone.
Ooh, fun.
I know, right? I don't think he knows that. And
he doesn't listen to this show then.
Oh, he doesn't. Don't worry about it. But once they have that in there, it takes usually about 6 months to fuse with your bone. And then I don't know if people have seen bones, by the way. If anyone's interested, it's kind of cool, actually. If you look at the structure of bones under a super high magnification microscope, they don't look like a solid object. They look like a spider web.
Yeah, well, they are. I mean, there's gaps.
There's lots of gaps. Absolutely. And so it's in fact, teeth I saw recently under a high magnification microscope, and tooth enamel also does not at all look solid. It is what it looks like. And this is probably not the best way to describe it, but it's kind of the way to describe it is, imagine if you got a really large toothpaste packet and it had a really small hole where the toothpaste comes out. And then you were squeezing, and it could be, caulk. It doesn't have to be toothpaste, but something that you squeeze out of a tube through a small hole, right? And then you did that, and your goal was to just make a tooth shape by constantly moving the nozzle while the stuff is coming out in little strands, and just make it. It's basically like spaghetti, right?
So very much like 3D printing something.
It is exactly like 3D printing. So the structure of teeth is like 3D printing, because what happens apparently is the cells that we have a very limited supply of, since we only get 2 sets of teeth in their lifetime, unlike a lot of other animals. These cells are effectively doing that. They're 3D printing the tooth. And as they're doing that, the tooth moves further and closer to actually being in the right place. And by the time they get done 3D printing the tooth is when it pushes out your first teeth. And then, when you're about 8 years old, 9 years old, thereabouts, 6 years old, I don't even remember. And then it just replaces those and puts in your permanent teeth. But yeah, they're not at all like, I always kind of wondered, how does the body create something the shape of a tooth?
It just does.
It 3D prints it, is what it does.
Our bodies have its own 3D printer.
Our bodies are basically robots. We have biorobotics, essentially. There are mechanisms inside of us for everything that happens that can be done now externally through either physical or chemical means. And with frickin' AI advancing the way it does, have you been paying attention to this stuff lately?
Oh yeah, it's
like it does everything now. It's painting pictures. It's and very good quality ones. It is, in fact, you can sell now AI images on Adobe stock.
Really nice.
Yep. They've changed their terms. So now that artwork now they have some restrictions on them, but artwork created with AI can now be sold on Adobe stock images.
Well, like you said, with how easy it is to go into an AI and get it to write you some text. This is where these YouTube videos are going to be, if they're not already. Somebody's going to go in and just keep pumping out videos with AI created text and then text to speech.
Yeah.
It is going to be infiltrating news, no doubt about it. People are going to use it to write news stories.
Oh, yeah.
There were a few things that I'm curious about how well it works, because some people have tapped into the chat GPT for fiction writing, that they've put systems together where you can not write the whole book, although it probably would. You can do brainstorming with it and put in information and it'll respond, and then you can put it in the order you want. So it seems like it's a very interesting tool, as long as you don't take the whole human aspect out of this. If you're using it to help create a template, that seems like it would be a very cool idea. But it's going to get to the point. I mean, we know that certain things have a particular way of doing things, meaning most music. We watched a few different, over the Christmas season, a few different just schlocky Christmas movies. And it's like, this is like the same story over and over again. You're just changing the setting and the names and the description of the characters. But overall, it would be very easy to believe that an artificial intelligence, you could be like, hey, take this Hallmark movie and write 100 more.
Yeah, totally.
And soon it'll be able to create that video too. You won't need actors or actresses. It'll just be able to create something we can watch. But I thought that was interesting that it is now being kind of refined to be able to do some very specific things that you wouldn't have normally thought of a computer being able to do. A lot of white collar work.
Has thought of it for many years.
Yes. But I mean, we may be here now. It may be available to you, which is, James Patterson already writes like 1,000 books a year. He could probably do 10,000 now. And really, if you can make even $20 a book, you're making money when you can put out 10,000 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the ponchos, the physical products, no, we all want to be an intellectual property now. Because I've wondered how well this would do. I know there was somebody that was writing No Agenda adventures before.
Mm-hmm.
I was considering trying my hand at that. I'm like, that may pay better than podcasting. How many people would buy one of them? If you can get 10,000 people.
What if you made a podcast where it's read out by an AI?
To the podcast reading the book or the podcast?
Yeah. It's turn it into a serial podcast.
True, we could do that. I mean, Brian Brushwood did pretty well with his.
I don't think he used AI though.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that, taking that content.
Yeah. So stealing content and borrowing content,
writing content
for fair use content. And
I meant writing content.
That's what I meant too. And then
it's not hard to write fiction.
Really?
Really, yes, I believe so.
Let promote your books on Amazon by all means.
Like that's again, when you're a non-Stephen King, I always wondered like what would sell. As an author that nobody knows, how many copies would sell? I think you could write the greatest book in the world and it would just sit there and nobody would buy
it. Sure. Yeah, totally. I think of that all the time.
Because your books don't sell.
Exactly.
They're the greatest books out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thought that would be an interesting thing to try because we know we would at least get mentioned on No Agenda. And we know there's about 1 million people that listen to No Agenda. And I'm sure at least 2% of those
25 of them donate.
Right. At least 25 donate. Would they buy a book though? I don't know. But I mean, the podcasts certainly aren't paying off lately, thanks to Uncle Joey and the economy.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I mean, look at No Agenda. They've been on single donation breaks for quite a few shows now.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other shows around seem to have taken a hit because, the economy sucks, which is why today, I mean, we are still a value for value podcast, even though you tell people do not donate.
Well, I'm just trying to make sure that people save their money out to go buy a poncho.
A poncho, yes. See, in that case, Lady Get Over It came in with $10.80, which is just about the cost of a packet of ponchos.
Almost.
And my watch just thinks I'm talking to it. Stop! And it's like everything I say is being...
Oh, yeah. You need to disable the microphone on the watch.
I think so. But it was also instantaneously transcribing what I was saying. And that is freaking impressive for a device like this. It really is to do real time as it's listening to the audio transcription on a watch. They talk about sci-fi. But a Lady Get Over It could have bought one of those beautiful poncho sets, but instead came in with $10.80. I know she wants to get to the point to get the steak dinner here in Chirac. And she's one of just a couple of people that are in that level, getting to that point. And we'll have to do that once the weather gets a little nicer. Get out, see some folk.
Yeah. In fact, I'm talking about doing a meetup with
the good old boy.
Yeah. So
when
I'm letting him plan it. So I have no idea when it is. When he figures out when it's going to be.
Another marketing problem.
Well, it's not. I don't want to be the guy doing shit that I'm not horribly good at. You know what I mean?
Then why are you doing this show?
Because I'm kicking ass on this show.
The other ones, though, not so much. But thank you, Lady Get Over It.
It's just certain aspects of it. So, yeah, thanks for the donation. That's always appreciated, even though you don't have to do it.
Unrelenting.show. Your support keeps this podcast viable.
Yeah, it helps offset. So, realistically, like, I know my cost on doing the shows that I'm producing is about $50 a month. And, which is what, $300 a year coming out of my pocket. I think your cost may be just a smidge lower because you're hosting on not a paid hosting service.
Well, it's not a podcast, but it is a paid host.
Okay, but either way, I mean, it's certainly not free. We're not running on one of those like, hey, give us your podcast, we'll put it up for free and we own it services.
I think what we're spending now is maybe around for the hosting, maybe around $20 a month for just the hosting aspect of it.
Oh, that's not really all that different. I think I paid $24 a month.
I've got 4 shows.
Oh, you have a bunch of them on there. Yeah. So you got to break them up by shows.
And that's for all of them. So they're all combined into one hosting. Okay. But then we have the Adobe that we pay for every year, which is like $150. I mean, it's cheap because it's the teacher pricing on Adobe. So I think that may be like $20 a month as well. So that's another, $240. So right there, we're already around $500 or so. Yeah. And then there's the PO box, which is now like $150 a year. Like really for the small box? I mean, I remember when it was like $40, $50, $60. No, post office getting greedy now. But beyond that, that is pretty much it. Adobe. And then, just having machines to record on and microphones to sound good and all that. And of course, a Motu, if you had the price of the Motu in there and all that. So there is costs that are involved. It is not free. It is not horrible. I mean, it's not like it's $20,000 a year to run a podcast or anything.
Sure.
Is it a real poncho or a Sears poncho? Frank Zappa wanted to know.
Sears poncho? What's the Sears poncho?
I don't know. It's a Frank Zappa quote, though.
Is it?
That's what Digi Guru said.
I don't know. I don't recall that in any of Frank Zappa's music that I heard, but I'm sure it's a real thing.
It is a real poncho that you can touch and feel, and it will keep you warm on those cold Chirac nights.
Yeah. Or you could just move to Texas and not buy a poncho.
That's your choice. Either help Gene or move to Gene's house.
Yeah, exactly.
Gene's got a bunch of tiny homes on his property now. He's renting those out too.
Oh man, I wish I did that. No, but there's definitely the prices on property here in Austin are just crazy.
Well, they're talking about Austin is one of the cities. They're like, it's about to crash. About to really just nosedive.
Yeah.
So sell quickly and get out.
Yeah, it's. I've been threatening to get out for 2 years now. So.
Nobody's running you out of town yet.
Well, it's just the whole concept of packing and moving is just so depressing that every time I want to move, I kind of think, yep, I really need to do this. And then I think of the process involved and I'm like, ugh.
And then every time you do it, it gets worse.
Except when I got divorced, then it was actually fairly quick and easy because the wife took all the stuff.
Well, yeah. So if you're traveling lightly.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't have any furniture at all. So the move was very, very quick. And the other thing I did is I gave all my books to the bookstores that, take used books.
Yeah, they'll give you like 30 cents for every $20.
They give you by the pound. And I just said, I'm like, it would have been about, for a box of maybe 25, 30 books, it would have been like 12 cents a pound or 15 cents a pound or something. So it would have been like a couple bucks.
You're in better shape like, burning
dude, them. I would never do that. But I don't want to wait for you to weigh this. I'm just going to leave it here.
You can have it.
Yeah, it's like at that price, there's no difference. I'm not going to get anything from. And
I don't want your spare change.
I think I got 14 boxes of books that I gave him right around there. Hopefully somebody enjoyed them because most of those books were only read once. I rarely ever reread books, but I used to have a fairly sizable collection of science fiction books and just a lot of history and philosophy books. So maybe no one's ever reread them.
It's possible.
They just went into some manufacturing deal where they cut the books out and let you put guns inside.
Right. You got to make them gun safe. That's a great idea for old books. If you got some old books, it's not that hard to do. You just need some adhesive and some time and a blade of some sort.
What's his face? Who's the guy that does them for No Agenda?
The No Agenda book guy. I forget the...
I forget the guy's name, but yeah, maybe I should have reached out to him and shipped him 14 cases of books.
I was really bummed that our buddy Jeff of No Agenda Tea just croaked.
He did?
Yeah. I guess
I didn't know that.
Died suddenly. Adam talked about it on the show yesterday.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't listened to the show yet.
I was like, wow,
I got some shit from Adam too. I sent him a link to an audio clip of Zelensky talking, and that clip was inside of a clip or inside of a video that Unrelenting. What am I saying?
Oh yes, send us some
Not
clips of this show. If you want to start pissing Adam off, start clipping this show and sending it to him.
Yeah. So. Well, it was not. It was, what the hell is that show called now? God damn it! With Clayton Morris and his wife.
I don't know.
God damn it!
See, Brooklyn did send us a boost of 3333 saying Shark Tank, here we come. And I guess that was about the ponchos.
Shark. Oh yeah. Well, anyways, the whatever the hell Clayton Morris's thing is.
You sent him a clip.
I sent him a clip, and he says, "No, we didn't play this clip. But we did a much better job deconstructing." and I was like, yeah, he really doesn't like Clayton. I think.
Is it like the pool boy?
I don't know if I don't think he likes Tim either much, but Clayton, I guess he's worked with his wife previously or something. And like, he thinks that they ran away from the US for doing some shady business deals, like defrauding people or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm used to working with people that have done shady stuff, so I don't really care.
You're like, that's pretty much par for the course.
I'm like, yeah,
And there's also a battle plan from DigiGuru, just says you just need to get married again and then divorce, and the bitch will take all your stuff.
And then move.
Right.
Yes, that's a great idea. I like that.
Make your move a lot easier. Well, and you could probably bring in a nice Ukrainian girl too first, and then help everybody
they're hard
out.
to come by now.
Really? They've gone up.
They've already all been trafficked.
You mean they found husbands?
That's what I said.
Right.
Yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah, pretty much.
I always like that little saying, tomato, but it really doesn't work in text format.
Because it's spelled the same way.
Right. Well, because it's the same thing. You can't just
Redacted. That's the show I was thinking with Clayton. Redacted.
Redacted?
So, yeah. If you want to piss off Adam, send him a clip from Redacted, guys, because he'll definitely be pissed off about it.
But only send him that clip while you're wearing your Yukon Trading Company orange ponchos.
I should have just hired you to promote these things. That would have been easier.
Yeah. I work a lot cheaper.
Do you?
Every YouTuber should have one of these on.
While recording.
Yes, exactly.
Just in case.
It would be right.
It's just think of like a orange grimace. That's what you look like when you're wearing it.
That would be awesome.
Uh-huh. Feel free to take a photo.
The show is Redacted.
You'll see I'm pretty close.
Yes.
Yeah, Redacted is the show. And I don't know. Clayton was on Fox for many years. He was like 12 years or something. I like watching him. I think he's got a fun sense of humor. He's joking around with his wife. And but clearly there are some people that he rubs the wrong way. Adam is one of them.
Well, and I get that. Now, I guess the Paul Pelosi video's out. Was there anything good, Troll Room? Now that the video's out, was there anything interesting in the Hammer Paul Pelosi? I mean, all this stuff, it takes so long for this stuff to come out. And they were trying to hide this body cam footage for some reason, which means that the story obviously wasn't being told accurately. And of course, there was the black reporter from the local, was it the NBC affiliate, that wasn't on the air then for like a half hour, like 30 days after, because his report said something that, questioned how this whole thing went down.
Yeah.
Nancy and Paul have made a lot of money on stocks, though. Don't look in that direction.
They've made millions, if not hundreds of millions on stocks. And in fact, I think there's a fund that just purely tracked and bought and sold the same stuff that she did. And their return is much, much better than the average.
That's genius. So that's the way you pick your stocks, is to, Nancy and Paul are buying this.
Yep. Exactly.
They
it's like
have
people
to
that are allowed
you, right?
to do insider trading legally.
Yes.
Why would you not follow that?
Uh-huh.
They would have to be stupid in order to lose money.
And when they buy, Pelosi has to buy,
Yeah.
then you have to disclose that because being a public figure and all.
That's the, excuse me.
Are we
That's
boring you, Gene?
I'm just kind of a little bored with today's conversation. It's the trade-off, right? So you get to do insider trading, but you have to publicize it.
So it's not insider. It is now. Oh, everything's fine.
Well, it's still insider because you don't, like, she's not going to share the secret information that she has that nobody else does.
Right, but you can see
all
the
you know
reaction.
is the actions that she's taking or whoever is doing it for her behalf. Yeah.
Makes sense. And you're supposed to believe that she's not giving this information to anybody else who is doing things without.
Yeah. But it's not just her. I mean, it's literally anybody in Congress.
Of course.
Can do insider trading.
Which is why they should be barred from doing all this kind of stuff. But then it all goes down the line of.
The single simplest thing that I've been saying literally for 40 years, and it's still true right now, that needs to happen is term limits.
Oh, yeah.
Term limits fix everything. They drain the swamp through a mechanical mechanism that nobody can avoid.
And then you put them in through a meat grinder.
Well, they put you through one, but yeah.
But Ted Cruz just put a bill out, right, for term limits. It's never going to pass.
It's never going to pass. Everything that the relatively few actual conservatives in Congress, which is about 20 in the House and about 8 in the Senate, what any of these people do right now is purely virtue signaling. Because they know nothing's going to actually change. Nothing will pass. Nothing will go through. Nothing will get signed. But they're still doing these things to get ready for the next election cycle. To say, hey, look at all the stuff that I tried to do that I couldn't do because of the bad people.
It makes sense. That's politics.
I mean, I don't mind somebody I got into an argument with. Maybe it was even you that like. There's virtue signaling on both sides of the aisle. Like it's not limited to just Democrats doing virtue signaling. That phrase doesn't mean something tied to a progressive cause. Virtue signaling is simply doing something purely for the praise that it's going to generate from your affinity group.
But it has to be virtuous. I mean, you can't virtue signal about being a horrible racist.
Well, that depends because it depends who you're. If you're
who your audience is.
If you're a skinhead in prison, and you're part of the Nazi guys, whatever they're called, I don't even know what the hell that group's
Klan.
called.
But you
it's
took
not
their
the
name
Klan.
from them.
There's no Klan in prison. No, there's a name for them. They've got the white something. I don't know. Somebody will know. Who's been in prison and can tell us in chat?
Yeah,
come on, people.
Please let us know what it's.
Yeah,
what's your
but white power or something like that. Like if you want a virtue signal to those guys, saying, "Hey, check out, I'm doing this awesome stuff by bashing in minorities." That's virtue signaling.
I guess it all depends on your audience
who the group is. Yes, it is doing something for that designated audience to say, "Yeah, fuck yeah." And so. I mean, it's okay that Ted Cruz is doing this, but it's not really a big plus.
You know, it's a question of whether it's really a part of the Republican platform, meaning if they do get into power, will they actually pass that? I think it's more.
Well, they can't get into power. They can't because the Republican Party has been demolished from the inside.
So is the Democrat Party, really, to be honest, but in a different way. But the reality comes down to,
yeah,
right. If they would actually pass these, if their party got into power, don't be like, well, they can't. That's irrelevant. Now, if they really believe in this, then it's not really virtue signaling. It is signaling that this is our platform. If you elect us, here's what you're going to get, which we talked about the fact that the Democrats very recently under Obama had the president. They had the House, they had the Senate. Oh, but they didn't pass abortion. They didn't totally redefine that. It's like, well, why? That's, and a lot of people look at all of this stuff and be like, well, you're never going to do, but if they really will, pass a law that goes into term limits if the Republicans get control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, which I understand, hard to believe that's going to happen. But if they did, would they pass that law? If yes, then I don't think it's necessarily that. I guess at that point, it's not virtue signaling because it has to only be virtue signaling if there's nothing backing it up, right? Or is it?
Yeah, virtue signaling is something you do where your goal is to impress a group of people, not to actually do the thing you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to put your money where your mouth is. Buy some of that ponchos.
Like if you're doing good stuff, then it also happens to impress a group of people. That's not virtue signaling.
It's only like doing
virtue
it to pander.
signaling. It's pandering. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think pandering is the synonym of virtue signaling.
The cinnamon. I love a little cinnamon. Put a little cinnamon
in the morning.
Yeah,
gets you up every time.
Hey, is that a stripper?
Hey, what's the other big story that's going on that's been making rounds that we didn't talk about?
Cinnamon in the morning. I'm just thinking of strippers.
God damn it! I'm trying to think. There is a huge story out right now that I was just thinking of, and I just spaced it out.
The WHO's World Health Organization urges stockpiling radiation meds. That's the headline.
Been there, done that.
I still think it's funny because I like O'Reilly's coverage a lot for most things, but he is totally
the Pfizer thing. Sorry,
on the Russian stuff. Yes,
yeah, and it's I think it's probably people around them reassuring him that he's on the right side. Yeah, the fight because even Trump came out yesterday and said this war needs to end. It's really easy to end. I would have ended it. Would have been huge. And I don't think he's referring to launching nukes, but maybe.
No, I don't think. Yeah,
you never know. You never know.
It's possible.
But yeah, the stuff that came out on Pfizer from Project Veritas. You see that?
I have not.
Oh, you got to see that. So they record. Project Veritas is just killing it, man. So they had another one of their gay dates set up and managed to snag themselves the head of, he's like a VP of Pfizer R&D for mRNA. And recorded him talking about how Pfizer, like a great business model is to make sure that your vaccines are always needed, is to start modifying the COVID DNA and coming up with new variants. And then the guy that's the guy he's on a date with says, well, doesn't that kind of sound like what's that thing that Fauci said we don't do?
Gain of function.
Gain of function. Yeah. He says, well, no, kind of, but it's not really, because it's really just sort of, enhancing a viral mutations through controlled. He basically gave the definition of that, and then instead of using the actual word of gain and function. And
but it kind of makes sense if you're a drug company that's trying to get out in front of something and a virus will mutate. You're like, well, hey, if we can mutate it faster than it would naturally, we could be ahead.
Exactly. Which also is exactly what biological weapon laboratories do. Literally the same thing. They're literally run by the same Germans. Pfizer people.
It's the same concept.
And so consequently, all this was recorded. And then the guy was confronted and just lost his shit. He was running around screaming, smashed an iPad out of the hands of the main dude at Project Veritas. It was just like, holy shit, this guy is not dealing very well at all with the inevitable job loss and never having a job in the industry again, because he just spilled the beans that they've been trying to cover up for, forever.
Here's the thing. I've never, just like Tim Pool, I'm not a big Project Veritas fan.
I am.
Because you do realize where we started this episode today was, guess what, Gene? People on the internet and in the real world lie.
Yeah.
So you're out and this guy's trying, no matter what Project Veritas thing you happen to be talking about, subject matter doesn't really change. Or the subject matter changes, the concept doesn't. And you're out with somebody and they're trying to impress this person they're talking to.
What you're giving is literally the talking points of the guy that got caught. He's like, oh, I was lying. I was just trying to impress a date. Right. How are you impressing a date by talking about how your company is doing something illegal?
Well,
how's that impressing
Because you're
somebody?
not thinking it's illegal. You're like, hey, let me tell you something you don't know. Everybody wants to know something they don't know, which is why they listen to so many podcasts. So could it be true? Yes, but I also understand where you're going with this kind of stuff. That, let me tell you, like, it depends how they're
it's
edited
literally
together.
What 60 Minutes used to do back when we were young.
Right. But it's like, I don't necessarily believe that everything anybody says is the truth. Now, it's possible to catch somebody, they may tell the truth, but you still have to be able to prove it. But I can also understand with editing that there is certain ways to get information. This is how all of, Fang, right?
So this
this is why so many attractive Russian women probably worked throughout the Cold War on sleeping with Americanos to get the information. Because guys will, then how much of that was true? Well,
it's all true.
If they show an interest, well, then you might give a bit of a story. You can't
trust any woman who's hot enough for you to be interested in. You cannot trust.
Right. You're like, here's a simple factor, guys. If she's way too hot for you, avoid her.
Yeah.
Well,
don't avoid her. Just keep your damn mouth shut.
Right. Don't say anything. Loose lips sink ships.
Totally.
But I see, this is where I don't buy half of this stuff. Like, oh my God, this has to be true because this idiot said it. No, I don't. Because I don't have the full editing. You don't know how somebody was prompted for something. Like, hey.
Well, they could have been prompted, but the guy's job is literally in charge of that. So, okay, well, maybe he lied, but, it's still not a good look.
I would agree. But the Project Veritas stuff gets very tiring.
Oh, no, I love it. I think it's great.
I think it does. And I think you really want to just kind of, understand, one, that people lie. You want to understand, you want to get all the data that you can. And that was, there are going to be cases. As I said, our buddy Jeff from No Agenda T died suddenly, was not vaccinated at all. Now, we've all heard the stories that, the vaccines are what's doing this. The vaccines are what's doing this. It's like, well, now we have somebody that wasn't vaccinated. You have to start looking more at the data to understand.
We don't know if he was vaccinated or not.
We don't know if anybody was, but according to his family, he was not.
He may not have told his family.
It's possible. But again, this is everybody lies. So don't believe anything is necessarily the truth. Just like pointing to, once the vaccines came out, all of these deaths started. It's like, well, you know what else happened when all these vaccines came out? People left the house for the first time in like 6 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to take all of the factors into consideration, and that is rarely what people do. It may be true. I mean, that's when I look at this, is like, well, it seems like it's a decent possibility.
Well, I don't know, man. Scott Adams admitted he was wrong, so that
so that closes the book.
We're done. Look, the science is in.
A cartoonist says.
Cartoonist has admitted he was wrong. Science is in. I wish more cartoonists would admit that they're wrong. But, it is what it is. I'll take one. The books are closed. It's done. We were right.
Do not question anything.
No, question everything. What are you talking about doing? Question absolutely everything.
I am. And that's what I like to do. But most people don't. Most people don't. They want to point to one thing and be like, well, it's obviously this. And quite often then you have a blind spot and you miss something. It's the same concept with the hockey stick and the global warming. I don't care
what's causing the deaths. I'm just happy that those of us that are purebloods don't have to deal with it.
See, now, if you drop dead during the show, then that would just add to a whole new line
then
of questioning.
You don't know if I was secretly vaccinated.
Right, exactly. That's the beauty of everything, is it's all lies. It's all deception.
Yeah, usually.
This is why Unrelenting is indeed so unrelenting.
I mean, that is kind of like the crowd that we have in No Agenda Social that listen to us.
Oh, yeah, they're crazy.
Are on the stream.
Oh, they're nuts.
And these are people that tend to mistrust.
And for good reason.
I'm one of those people. I tend to mistrust things as well.
For very good reason.
Yeah.
But beware of your blind spot. That's it. You got to beware of your blind spots, though.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely right, and I think it's important. This is by the way why I did the interview with that 20-year-old and then the 28-year-old
to see the point of view.
You can't be stuck in the same bubble all the time.
But it's very interesting because the 20-year-old, I think if you tried to tell him he was wrong about half the stuff that I believe he was wrong about, and they would be like, nope, you're an idiot, you're old.
Kinda. I had an hour and a half long conversation with him yesterday. That was not recorded, not a podcast.
Why would you waste that kind of content?
Because now we've been talking every week.
And you're like, I'm still trying to figure this kid out.
So I'm not really. I'm just trying to convert him.
Does he eat meat? Does he get laid? Does he drink?
I don't know if he gets laid a whole lot, but he does eat meat. He's kind of a tall, lanky dude. Those usually don't get a whole lot of.
Hey, I did just fine, man.
That's what you claim. So yeah, he's like 6'5" or 6'6" or some shit.
Tell him that a heart arrhythmia is probably in his future because he's too tall.
Well, yeah, probably. I'll make sure to give him the good news.
Yeah, the doctor's like, it doesn't really even matter if you're big or not as far as weight. Just like being tall. Yeah. He's like a lot of basketball players have arrhythmias.
Well, I mean, clearly humans were not intended to be that tall. So
I know
it's kind of a genetic defect.
Mm-hmm. But see, the taller you are, the smarter you tend to be too.
Which is completely false. If you actually look at IQs,
ask Adam Curry. He'll back me up on this one. If you're 6'5" or over, you're probably a genius. A creative genius too.
Only a non-genius would say that. So take it with a grain of sand there.
A grain of sand?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it a grain of salt?
Well, you do you.
You do you. Hey, well, again, if you weren't dating much, that's what you do.
Yeah. So, I think he has dated and stuff, but I don't know. That whole generation, like dating is a different concept for them.
It's a lost generation.
It's more like it is totally a lost generation. I told them, I think you guys are fucked. Your whole generation's fucked. And
how will their children fare? That is
they won't have children.
Part.
That's the beauty.
Then we're all screwed.
Well, what do you care?
I don't. I'll be dead.
You don't have children. You'll be dead. I'll be dead.
Woo!
Maybe.
But
either way,
how much are you spending a month in getting like cryogenic blood reinfused in?
I do have a supply of my blood stored.
See,
that's true.
Is it all wrapped up in ponchos now to keep it cool?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great use for the ponchos.
Right. See, there you go.
Wrap it around your blood, and yeah,
I'm coming up with a whole bunch of new uses for these things.
Well, and getting stem cell extractions done when you're young so that you have them available when you're old. Yeah. These are all useful things to do.
Any new uses of those ponchos, please let us know what you're doing with them.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I would love to, I'd love to sell them, but beyond that, if the people are creative, man, I want to see that shit because that's awesome.
Yes. Fill up No Agenda Social or YouTube with these videos.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure to have the Yukon box in the frame.
Yeah, that would be useful.
Only trust Yukon.
And I'm all for a totally tongue-in-cheek type reviews. Like I think those would be hilarious to where you're pointing out the benefits that are clearly not.
Right. Yes, exactly. And then at the end of the video go, Icon, Yukon.
Nice. You just come up with that on your own?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just trying to get you these things sold.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate it because I do need to sell like 3,000 of these. So
you can move them and then get your new products up there.
Yeah. And there's some more ironing out. I think we will use the same company for production, so at least that part of it's done. But there's definitely some more stuff to iron out on the design to make it fully workable.
And if you go directly to Sir Gene for $33, he will send you an autographed poncho.
I hate to say it, but that probably is not far from the actual price after shipping.
See?
Because I think shipping one of these for me is going to be at least $10.
There you go.
So,
Well, you can always get
I do have a box of them sitting here for at home for, friends and family and stuff. So if somebody truly doesn't want to buy one from Amazon, but would like to support, you can probably just PayPal me a donation to the podcast and say, here's my address for the poncho, and I'll send you one.
And
I hate to be, a dick about it, but I think that is kind of the price point. It's got to be like over $30.
That way you can support Sir Gene Speaks, and then Gene can get himself some of those the envelopes, the bubble envelopes, or the boxes for from the post office that give you a flat rate. It is probably about still $10 to $12.
I think flat rates are like $6 now, aren't they?
More.
And I don't think this would fit in a flat rate. Well, if I put it in a flat rate envelope, it would get squished.
Yeah, but it's okay. And you'd have to take it out of the box.
It's too thick to put it into the flat rate box.
Oh, man. I'll see how this looks. I'll have them on Sunday, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's one thing Amazon's awesome at is fast delivery.
They will throw that into somebody.
They'll have some low page worker driving around on Sunday.
Yes. And the last time I got something delivered like that, it was just like somebody in an SUV. So it's like, how does this job work?
That's literally a contractor guy getting paid like 50 cents a delivery.
They're like going to Uber Eats or something like.
Yeah, they're doing Uber Eats at the same exact time as they're doing Amazon delivery for you.
My poncho smells like fries.
That'd be okay. If it starts smelling like Chinese takeout, maybe not so much.
Wow. Little cream of gay young guy.
Wow. I was definitely not going there, but holy shit.
I tell you, this show is better than Seinfeld. It is comedy gold.
But it's just like Seinfeld, though.